Welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast for all decision makers and action takers. Take it away, Esther.
And welcome back to another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Today we're talking about building relationships to drive results. And it's something that we touch on in almost every episode that we talk about, isn't it, Melanie? Because relationships are the core basis of all that you're going to do in business. You can't get ahead without the people that you know and the people that they know and talking to people, and building relationships. So why is it so important?
Well, community building and relationship building in general helps you build awareness and a market share. And the stronger relationship you have, like a two-way relationship, the greater chance it has of being mentioned by other people and remembered by other people. I mean, it's like a partnership or a marriage. If you don't talk to one another, it's not going to last.
That is very true and a good analogy to use. But when you do talk, this is something that, I was told as a young child, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So you need to listen more than you talk. And this can happen at networking events. It can be through even Zoom calls that you're on. It can be meeting people at the school gate where some of our first relationships were formed, as parents, as business owners. You meet people all over the place. And it doesn't always come, obviously, if you're at a business networking event, you're going to be talking business almost exclusively. But I think there's a way, or a need, more than a way, there's a need to go deeper and a need to go a little bit more personal when it comes to these interactions.
There also has to be a measure of privacy as well. I know a lot of people don't like to admit about their relationships, about children, and I get that. I mention I'm a parent, but I don't sort of mention details. It's no more than you would do if you were at the school gate. You don't sort of tell people your financials, and you just wouldn't do that.
No, only do that if you're talking to your bank manager.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even then, if they only ask you, not in a personal setting. But there are a lot of people that I come across on the daily because my kids go to 2 different schools. They play football, soccer for the Americans listening. There are lots and lots of places you can interact. You can be in a supermarket. You can, come up with new friends, old friends, anywhere and everywhere you go. But I think one of the main places would be at business events, business conferences. There's ones that Melanie and I go to that we've already talked about in a previous episode. So go and check those out, and we'll talk about more in a future episode for your winter months. But if you're very introverted and very, have high anxiety with talking to other people, it can't be easy to get ahead in business, and it can't be easy to put yourself out there. So are there any sort of tips, tricks, suggestions, things that people could look at to be able to move forward? Because you can't have a business without talking about it. You can't talk about it if you're too nervous to do that.
Well, I think my top tip would be maybe going to a location you'd never been to. You have no idea how big the meeting room is or how many people are going to be there. Then maybe start initially by going to Zoom networkings or online connections, because at least you can kind of disappear if you need to. It's much easier to withdraw from that than it is to leave a room. And it gives you the opportunity to practice your elevator pitch as well, because it's normally one of the first things that you're asked to sort of hone when you're there. But the other important thing is you don't have to do this on your own. There could be a friend or a member of family or another business person, or maybe if you've done a start your own business course, there may be somebody else on that start your own business course that you can go along with, and you can be each other's wingman, basically. And I personally think that would make life a lot easier if you weren't doing it on your own, especially if you're particularly quiet. But you've got to be careful who you go with, because you don't want
Yes.
somebody's star to shine greater than yours. And it kind of makes the whole reason you're going pointless if they become this, the star of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if it was a real friend or a real mentor,
Yeah.
that they would help you and let you shine as well. I think practicing showing up, practicing what you're going to say, how you're going to introduce yourself, how you're going to talk about your business, that can take away some of the nerves as well. And
Yeah.
we've talked about this in other episodes where we're talking about practicing before going live on video. But I think even showing up in person can give an extra fear factor to some people, because there's no filters, there's no place to hide behind if you're there physically in the room. So having those little cheat sheets and practice notes can really help you. But you will automatically gravitate towards your own people, and you will attract people like you as well. So even at in-person events that we've been to, there are a lot of times that there'll be a table of introverts or a table of extroverts, or a table of those that have kids, or those that aren't married, or those that sort of everybody sort of gravitates to the people that they find a connection with.
Mm.
And that happens first of all on a subconscious level, in a way, because if you're standing hugging the wall, somebody's going to notice who's also hugging the wall, and that can start up a conversation as well. So you don't have to be, like Melanie says, telling everybody all about everything that you do and everything that you have and everything that you say and all your prices and all your products and all your. No, just start by seeing how the room is. And this could be, like Melanie says, a physical room, a virtual room. It can be anywhere that you go to. Just take a breath before setting foot and opening up. See how it's done in that room too, because I've seen too many people who
Mm.
go to networking events and go to events in general who just decide, I'm going to be the star here. And that's not how the organizers have planned it, or it's not how the it's always been done. As
Mm.
we love here in the UK and Ireland, things have always been done a certain way, and don't try to upset the apple cart. But if you go in with the mentality of, I'm here to learn and I'm here to help as well, then that will be very widely accepted too, I would say.
I also think if you have the attitude that everybody started from exactly the same place, believe it or not, myself and Esther weren't this confident when we first started.
No.
And I remember before we even started the podcast, the mere thought of starting a podcast was not on our bingo sheet at
No.
all.
And definitely not doing a video one. That
No.
was
So,
never on my bingo card.
I mean, it's taken me years to get you here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
So,
have to meet people where they are.
yeah.
You can't just go in and, oh, this is how it should be, or this is, the way it has to be done. But
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we're talking as to basically professional people who have got used to talking about ourselves and our business for a number of years. But we do remember what it was like. And we're still put in new situations, things we've never done before.
mhm.
Like Esther has now not just been organizing, like she has for many, many years, Social Media Fest or events in general, but she's now the organizer. So she's, that's a whole new level of responsibility that she's never had before.
Yeah.
And I'm working with new clients I've never worked with before, and that's a whole new onus, and the types of people I'm working with and the responsibilities that I'm now expected to take on. We're always challenging ourselves, but you know what? That's what we're meant to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you just need to find somebody who will advocate with you and for you and give you some accountability as well. I think that's probably my top greatest tip.
Yeah. And I think when you find the right relationships, they can help because, Melanie and I have known each other for, I don't even want to say how many years at this point.
Quite a while.
Quite a few years. Even before we started the podcast, we knew each other and we were going to events together and we were, sharing rooms and sharing plane tickets and, sharing
Yeah.
taxis and sharing, going out for meals together at all these events before we started working together on the podcast. So they can be a slow burner type thing of you meet someone at an event, you don't maybe talk to them for 2 or 3 months, you see them at the next event, talk about some more things, you build up to these things. You don't just show up and go, this is me, this is what I do, like it or lump it, this is, how I'm going to help you, and you need my services, and if you don't take my services, I'm never going to talk to you again. No. Okay, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because that person could end up being your mentor, could end up being your peer, could end up being an accountability buddy, could end up just
A
being a
supplier.
friend,
Yeah.
supplier,
Yeah.
a client in some sort of way, could end up being, even if it's just a friend. We all need friends in this world, and if they, like I said, just friend in inverted commas, because that friend could then introduce you to other people who need your products and services. So you don't know who it is that you're talking to, but that could be a step to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
But that's the
So
hope, isn't it?
it is. So just because that one person doesn't want to buy from you at that moment doesn't mean that you should write them off and never, talk to them again. I also don't advocate for going to events and only sticking with your crew. I totally, Melanie and I and a few other people always go to the same events together, and it's wonderful and we have a great time. But we do branch off and go to different talks and sit beside different people and talk to new people and reconnect with the people that we've connected with from previous years. And it just grows and grows and grows. So take those baby steps and get out there.
I mean, you just reminded me, we traveled all the way to social media marketing world together. We
Yes.
stayed in the same accommodation together.
Yes.
And we barely saw each other the whole time we were there.
We were there for like 4 days. And I was like, Esther, where are you? And she's calling me. And like, I don't know where I am. I'm in the middle of San Diego somewhere. But we'll see each other later for dinner, or, I'll meet you
But
back
that's
at
how
the
it should
apartment.
be,
Exactly.
You shouldn't be, well, for a while, you will gravitate to people you know. But when you're going to new places like this, it's important that you don't just speak to the people you already know. You've already got that relationship. You're there
Yeah.
to build relationships with others.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't always be about you either. I think that's something else we should mention here. You're not just networking for yourself, but there may be somebody else in your network that would benefit from this lead.
Yes.
And I hope that they think the same, so that they can think of you because they know you well enough. They'll say, well, actually, I don't do websites, but there's a lady I work with who I know called Esther, and she'd be the best person to talk to, and I'd hand over the details. So, it shouldn't always be about you either. That's how networking works. It should be everybody around you as well.
Exactly. And we've talked a lot about networking and stuff, but it's also the building of a community.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just, when you hear the word networking, don't just think of an event. Don't just think about, oh, I'm going to have to go and talk to these people, or, do my 30-second pitch or my 60-second pitch or my 5-minute intro or whatever it is. Do think of networking as building your community, and your community will always, if you look at your neighbors around you, it's filled with lots of different people and lots of different ideas and lots of different cultures from time
Mm.
to time as well. Well, unless you live somewhere like Melanie and I, where it's all very, insular. But in a lot of places, you will have, you'll have the doctor and the lawyers and the mechanics and the teachers and the shop assistants, and you'll have all these different people, and they all have a role and responsibility. It's the same thing when you go networking and building your community. You should have someone in your community who either builds websites or knows someone who builds websites. You should have the trainer, you should have the coach, you should have the connector,
Mm.
whether that's a connector of dots, connector of people. You should have somebody that you should just be able to mention something and go, "Oh, not sure how to do this," and they will automatically either come up with a solution for you or know someone who can.
Yeah.
So think of all the things that you, as you're building your business, need or think you might need, and start surrounding yourself with those people. Go to the events that are going to have those people in them. Go to the Zoom rooms. Go to the school PTA meetings or whatever they're called, where you think that you could, get to know someone. And it's worked like even 20 years ago or more. I'm really showing my age now. I used to work in the university that I studied in, and I was in the finance department. So I was the debt collector
Joy.
for, oh, yes. But there was one name that popped up when I was going through the bad debt, and that they've technically written off, but you have to sort of try again anyway. And I'd gone to school with this guy,
Oh,
so
oops.
I phoned him up and I said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And we had a 5-10 minute conversation about the good old days in school. And then
And
I
I
went,
know where you live.
"No, wasn't anything like that." And it was literally like then getting into the reason that I'd called, and they ended up paying it. And the finance director was like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "Because I was a human being and I talked to
Mm.
them."
Yeah.
It's not just about going up to the person and go, "You owe money." That they're never going to pay. You have to, like storytelling is all,
Mm.
all of the things that we tell you in every episode of the podcast. It's all about building those relationships, building the community, having the right people around you, so that you can build success, so that you can move forward with your business and with, whatever it is that you sell or want to sell, or if you're just starting out or changing or pivoting or moving, you should have those people that you can bounce the ideas off, have the people that will be the hand raisers and go, "Yeah, I'm going to buy from you. I'm going to be the first person in the front row of your event. I'm going to be shouting from the rooftops that you've got this great thing that you've got going on." Have those people as your cheerleaders. Okay. It'll make business so much more enjoyable, especially if you are a solopreneur and you're doing it on your own.
Mm.
You have to have all these things around you. Go to your local enterprise office, your Go Succeed office, your business enterprise, whatever they're called, center, wherever you live in the world, and see what's going on. See if there are groups that you can join for startups, groups that you can join for scale ups, groups that you can join for venture capitalists. If as you're growing,
Well,
you'll
I've got
need
another
different
idea
people.
actually. To help build your confidence, you might want to consider Toastmasters as well.
Mm.
Um, and again, that's another community that you can build around you, but they are a whole organization about developing your confidence, your ability, and your vocabulary on how to
Yes.
speak with other people. And I know that's a global organization. So wherever you are, you will have a Toastmasters in your district or state that you can attend. And I don't think it's terribly expensive either.
It's an investment. like
Yeah,
anything else
it
that you
would
do in
be.
your business,
Yeah.
like everything you do in your business should be an investment, not thought of as a cost
Mm.
or as an expense. I know you have to put them down as expenses in your, your finances and stuff, but you are investing in yourself. And even if that business doesn't succeed, you've got the basis
Yeah.
for other businesses to succeed then instead. Add value wherever you go, whoever you talk to, whatever you do, always be adding value. Like Melanie said, don't make it all about yourself. Make it about the other person. Like I said, listen first and then talk, because they might be telling you one thing. If you're not listening properly, you'll not know how to answer them to be able to say, this is, the issue. This is what the solution is. You might be off on a completely different tangent if you're not listening, and then they'll walk away. So don't just be thinking about what you're going to say. Think about ways to add value and to help. Just be the most helpful person in the room and you will be remembered. What was it? Maya Angelou's um
I got me on the spot here. I can't remember, but
people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how it made you feel,
yeah,
or
that
something
sounds
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So make them feel good, make them feel happy, make them feel listened to,
Yeah.
make them feel all the good stuff, and they will remember you. And like Melanie has had people come back to her after years
Mm.
and say, "Oh, I remember I met you at such and such, or I heard about you, or so and so mentioned you," or, and it's taken the person until, 3, 4, or 5 years later to go, "Oh, yeah, I still need that." Because it's what,
See, I think one of the best ones is I trained somebody as they started up their business. And then they came back 3.5, nearly 4 years later for me to train their staff up. That was a bit of a slow burn. But it's how you treat people, and you don't have to sell every single moment you're out. It's
no,
I love the way
nor
you said
should you.
no. I love the way you said, be helpful, be useful to people, because they'll remember that more than, oh, I just bought this one item.
Mhm.
So I've had people come to me and say, oh, do you know anybody who can help with this? And I'll go, well, I definitely can't, but speak to XYZ. And they remember that. And
Yes,
I get other clients through them because of that, or they come back to me again.
exactly, exactly. Be helpful, be kind, and be you.
Yeah.
Because when you're standing in a room full of 3 people, 300 people, 3,000 people, you'll be the only person that is you.
Here, here.
And on that note, we will end this one for this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Do reach out. Let us know how you get on with your building communities, with listening to people, with sharing what you do and being helpful. We love to hear your stories, and you know how to get in touch with us. Just hit the little subscribe button and send us an email. Until next week, we'll be back with another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye. So I wonder who you were thinking of when you were saying connector of dots, Esther.
Well, the connector of dots is Hannah, and the connector of people is Samantha Kelly.
Ah. I wonder if there's anybody else we know who does the same sort of thing.
Oh, probably, but they're the first ones that come to mind.